Hi everyone, Mitch here, one of the Hidden Gibbons, and today I'd like to do a little video, sort of a deck tech / showcase. If you watched my introduction video, you'll see that the first video that I wanted to do was sort of a deck tech / deck showcase. Well, this is that video. So without further ado, let's take you into the list. Here is my deck, CEDH, the notorious Yokozuna. The Yokozuna is the highest rank in sumo, and I don't know, it's just something that I thought would be funny. My commanders, Kraum and Tymna, pretty self-explanatory if you've been around the CEDH world. If not, both of these commanders provide card advantage. If you're new to Magic, card advantage is basically drawing cards. Tymna, allowing attackers to get through paying life drawing cards. Kraum, triggering off of second spells. The creature package is more in towards the turbo build. I've got Bergie and Dragon Rage Channeler to kind of fuel those early breach lines. Some of the stuff is in here to grind, like Fairy Mastermind. Esper Sentinel's just a great card in general. As we move down, Professional Facebreaker, also allowing that grind plan. Nothing real spicy. Beseech the Mirror is something new that I've been trying out. I wanted to try it with a talisman, and then that's also a way for me to convert Jessica's Will mana into blue or black, which is sometimes pretty helpful if you get into those situations where you've got Jessica's Will in your hand and you don't have any way to sync the mana into anything meaningful like a Demonic Tutor or even your Brain Freeze. I'm also kind of playing a mix. I'm trying to find a good middle ground right now. I want to have a little bit of game against everything. Maybe, sacrificing maybe 1 to 2 cards. That's why kind of my sideboard looks like the way it does. I've got Domi, Draft, just some stuff in here. This deck is always changing, and this iteration right now is where I feel like I'm comfortable with the deck. A lot of people are cutting a land. I could see maybe doing that and adding like the Vexing Bubble. But if I do that, then I'm going to want to add the Opposition Agent and the Drannith Magistrate to kind of finish out the stacks package. But we'll see what happens. Overall, it goldfishes pretty well. Yeah, that's kind of the deck tech. I mean, the main way we win with is Underworld Breach and Brain Freeze and Lion's Eye Diamond, creating a loop, milling ourselves, which is fueling our breach line even more. And then the other backup win condition is Thassa's Oracle. If we get really into the weeds, we also have Mnemonic Betrayal to try to put something together out of our opponent's graveyards. Other than that, I mean, there's also some synergy here with Wheel of Fortune going into Mnemonic Betrayal is pretty good as well. But yeah, this is the deck tech. Now on to showcase. So a lot of people like to just show off their deck, but not a lot of people show off how they carry their deck, how they store their deck. I use a academic, the 166 version. This holds the whole deck perfectly, double sleeved in KMC Perfect Hard inner sleeves with I'm running KMC Hyper Phoenix right now. This is the top. This is what you'll find when you open up your deck box, or my deck box. So in here I've got a couple of mementos. I'm a Surfing Pikachu collector. I don't play Pokemon. I never have played Pokemon. I used to use the Surfing Pikachu as a goblin token for the Epic Storm back when I played that in Legacy. And I had kept one and carried it in my wallet since I got done playing. So, oh man, probably close to 10 years. And this is how it survived. And so I think that's pretty funny. I also found out there's more Surfing Pikachus, so now I just have to get more. Dice up here on the top. I've got a spin down for any quick counting things. Further down, as we open up the drawers, I've got all my tokens. I've got, just in case I forget, how to play the game, I've got on my turn card, assigned storm token or storm counter from Bryant Cook. I placed an order with him for the Hyper Phoenix sleeves that I actually have on the deck, and I found this in the deck box, and that's super cool. On the back side, there's a spoils card, foil elitism with a PSA tag that I cracked open. I cracked a slab for the brain freeze, the foil brain freeze that I have in my deck. So I thought that would be a cool place to keep that. I've got a signed token from one of my buddies, his senior picture, with a chef's kiss on the back. And then Johnny Combo Player has ridden with me since I was a Legacy grinder. And Bruce Lee sleeve on the back of Johnny. I do want to get a foil Johnny at some point. Here's a card that I made when I was younger off of some of the world's proxies, and I just kind of keep it as a memento in there. It's whenever Mitch comes into play, target player wins the game. It has a buyback of 0 and a converted mana cost of 0. It's also a creature. It's a legend. It has no mana costs, or it has no power toughness. But yeah, no. If I play this card on you, then I get to choose who wins the game. And important to note that it can be deflecting swatted, I guess. Next, I have some mana markers, just to kind of signify floating mana. And then here are my tokens. I've got the Japanese swan song bird, a treasure token from Lord of the Rings. This one kind of rotates in and out based off of what I find fun at the time. A Japanese foil orc token, a couple of warriors, and then if someone ever gifts me a fish, I have a fish. So those are the first drawer. I also have some infinite tokens, official WotC ones. They've got magic back on them. Second drawer has random things, extra sleeves, a big spin down for Storm, makes it easier to track. If you're a Storm player, this is coming from years of doing it. A spin down is a really, really good way to keep track of that Storm. It's really easy to just keep spinning that dice up or that die up and go from there. I've got a silver dollar in here from when we used to play with Mana Crypt. Excuse me. And some other little tokens in here. This is what I use as my gemstone luck counter, either that or the Millennium Falcon. I've also got an F-bomb. And yeah, just some other random little things in here, just little tokens. And then now to the main part. Okay. Now that I've taken it out of the box, so we've got two Gamegenic size morph dividers is what I use alongside. I've got 35-point clear cases for Tymna and Kraum. And then I also have the Japanese versions, which is what I like to use there. Okay. So first we have, I'll just kind of go in slow order. This is the same sort that we had on the Moxfield link. I'll see if we can get the Moxfield link pinned in the description below. Here's Dragon Rage Channeler. Esper Sentinel. Fairy Mastermind. Grand Abolisher. Lotho. Mockingbird. Orcish Bowmasters. Professional Facebreaker. Ragavan. Ranger Captain. Simian Spirit Guide. Thassa's Oracle. Valley Flood Caller. And Voice of Victory. Now, one thing to note with this deck, I did want to kind of theme the deck with, I'm going retro Japanese first, and then the retro or borderless Japanese, and then kind of down from there when it comes to English borderless. English retro takes precedent. Retro will always take precedent over the other ones, but if I can find it in Japanese and borderless, I will do that as kind of a placeholder. Moving forward, next card, Besiege the Mirror. Some of these foils are in here. The English ones, I'm looking to find Japanese ones if they're going to stick in the deck. If not, then I don't know. Those are kind of liquid. We'll go into maybe another video sometime based on how I find the versions that I want and how I get the versions that I want. Excuse me. Demonic Tutor. Here's Diabolic Intent. Here's a Gamble. Retrofoil Gamble. Here's Cataxian Probe. This one has been kind of impressive in the list, helping to crack top deck tutors and just give a little bit more information, using it as also a political tool, being like, hey, I can, call your bluff, essentially. Imperial Seal. I like this art more than I like the hand art. Jessica's Will, Japanese foil. Mnemonic Betrayal, one of the non-foil cards that I have, looking for a foil. Cold Snap, foil Rite of Flame. Retro foil Sabine's Wreck. A revised Wheel of Fortune. Double Masters, Ad Nauseam, Japanese foil. An Offer You Can't Refuse. This one is going to be the Jace Cat eventually. Japanese foil Born Upon a Wind. Here's the foil Brain Freeze that I cracked that slab for. From the Vault, Cabal Ritual, which is eventually going to become a Torment one. Chain of Vapor, non-foil. This one is up there on my need to get in foil list before they get too expensive. Following the week, here's the Japanese promo, only available in this border. I wish we had a retro border one. Cyclonic Rift and the retro foil. Dark Ritual. The Frank Frazetta art this is probably my favorite art, Dark Ritual, behind the Mercadian Mass foil Dark Ritual. That's one of the most beautiful cards, in my opinion. Japanese foil borderless deflecting SWAT. The Secret Lair Demonic Consultation to go along with the Secret Lair Thassa's Oracle. Enlightened Tutor, still looking for a foil retro border of this one. Fierce Guardianship in that borderless. I love the way the art curls around on this one. Future Sight. Future Shifted Border Final Fortune. The foiling on this one looks great, and I just love the way that it looks. The 7th edition one is a little out of reach right now, so this one's going to have to do. Flare of Duplication in Japanese retro foil. Flusterstorm in that retro treatment as well. The theme of this deck obviously is that retro. Force of Negation. Force of Will. Intuition. Still need to find that Judge foil of this one. That one should probably be pretty high on the grab list too, but they're a little expensive. Mental Misstep. I love the art on this Mental Misstep, the Secret Lair one. Ori Tour art. Mystical Tutor in the retro English foil. I can find this one hopefully in Japanese. Time Spiral Shifter Remastered Packing Negation foil. The Pyroblast, the special edition one. Fire and Ice, or the Fire Chronicle, I'm not sure. There's so many different versions of these cards now. Secret Lair Reign of Filth. A Silence from the Princess Bride. I would go with the retro one, but the movie's just so iconic, and I really do like what they did with this one. Snapback in foil. Swan Song in that Theros foil. Cut this part out, Weston. 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 And this is a Tainted Pact. It's so light on the etching. I need to get the foil one because the etching is literally around the border of the text box, and that's it. Vampiric Tutor. They did do a retro version of this one as well. Just need to find it. Arcane Signet in the retro etch. Secret Lair. GP Chrome Mox. This was given out at the same place as this mat was given out in GP Chicago. Finally got both of these back after a while, and This is a very special one to me. This is probably the only one that's not going to be in the retro border, even though I do like that Chrome Mox. Dan Frazier's Chrome Mox looks very nice. Felwar Stone by Mr. Frazier. And a Lion's Eye Diamond. The promo Lotus Petal. I'm thinking about switching to just a regular non-foil Japanese one so I can go with brown artifacts a little bit more. Foil Borderless Mana Vault. Mox Diamond. Stronghold. Mox Opal for the foil etch treatment. This was given to me as a gift by a friend of mine. Shout out to Magic Kraken. He also gave me one of these as a soul ring. And then we're also rocking the Talisman of Dominance in that retro treatment. Japanese foil Wishclaw Talisman. Japanese retro foil Mystic Remora. Now this is one of the prettiest cards of the bunch. The Deckmaster foil Necropotence. This is the Commander Anthology Heuristic Study. A Japanese foil Borderless Smothering Tide. The special guest Underworld Breach. Retro Etched Mesa. Real Revised Badlands. The Balin's Tomb foil, which Ancient Tomb. We got Bloodstained Mire next. City of Brass after that. And that Borderless treatment. The Command Tower from Jurassic Park in Japanese. This one is also flip side, so you've got a little bit more colorful one on this side. But I prefer to use the one with the dinosaur. My testing slot right now on my lands is Crystal Vein. Exotic Orchard. Japanese Retro Foil Flooded Strand. Glittering Caves of Aglarond, aka Gemstone Caverns. The Infinity Hallowed Fountain. Both of the shocklands I run in this deck are in the Infinity sort, so they're easy to find. That's another reason why I like having my duels white-bordered, is they're a little bit easier to find when you're shuffling through. Mana Confluence. Also, I can't afford... Let's keep that clear. I cannot afford alpha or beta duels. So, Marsh Flats in that etched treatment. So foil Misty Rainforest. Japanese Borderless Otawara Star Destroyer. Yeah, that looked great. Paths of the Dead, aka Cavernous Souls. I need to get this one in foil. My utility lands, most of them being Lord of the Rings lands, I thought was kind of fitting. I am a Lord of the Rings fan, not a huge one, but I do like the series. Plateau. No Cons, Polluted Delta and foil. This will be retro foil Japanese eventually. Scalding Tarn in that retro etch, which will be a Japanese foil retro eventually. Scrubland. Is a Japanese foil starting town. Tundra. Underground Sea. Foil etched verdant catacombs. Volcanic Island. Here's that other Infinity Water Grave. And then finally, a foil Japanese retro Windswept Heath. I hope you've enjoyed my deck showcase. That is my Blue Farm build. It's kind of always changing and evolving with time. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about the deck, if you want to, jam some games, hop on over into the Hidden Gibbons Discord. We'll try to put that link down in the description. And if you get a chance, please like and subscribe. That really helps us out. If you want to see more CEDH content, especially, please, subscribe and leave a comment. Give me, tell me something about the deck, what you like, what you didn't like, what you think could change. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.